Hold it around to Channing.
This is a
Short arm Jesse.
Pass.
Well, it's a family tradition.
I know, met your dad.
And
Right.
Channing actually kind of passed an opportunity there, and Blake is not going to look gold dust in the mud,
205,000
raising these blinds with a short stack.
Well, I did notice when I was playing with Tim the other day that he is a pretty conservative player, but everything changes when he's got position. The cut-off or the button, he's quite prepared to raise with a substandard hand and use his position. Oh, I did tell you Poulsen was going to do something. I mean, this guy showed an awful lot of game yesterday. Sooner or later, I was expecting some kind of move from him, and it looks like he's got this time properly.
I mean, Parg, this is the poker equivalent of putting your head in the chopping block without knowing when the blade's going to fall. He's out there on an A7, and he stuck half his stack in, and this is...
Well, sticking half his stack in here is sending out a clear message to Tim that if he wants to dance here, they're going to go right the way to the end.
This takes a lot of heart, doesn't it?
Well, both players are playing this pot perfectly. Blake has used his position well to try and pick up the blinds, and Poulsen, a guy who we know isn't afraid to put his chips in and back his judgment, has quite rightly come over the top. And he does have an ace here as a fallback position if he has run into a big pair or something.
The 200 or so thousand that Paulsen's leaving behind, is it implied that's going in, or is it implied that he might fold to the re-raise, or is it just one of those surrender sooner things?
Well, you can't guarantee it's going in, but it is implied. It's a kind of a semi-bluffing position.
First pot played for Kai Danilo Paulsen, first pot won, and that keeps him back around where he started.
I don't want to see this guy get knocked out too early, because I want to see him make a couple of those beautiful plays. I'm a sick man. I mean, I just love those big plays.
Yeah,
I wouldn't write him out of this tournament at this stage. I mean, he's still got over 700,000.
So, really, the only big chip movement we have seen since this final table started was Tournier's chips going to Donald Norton, and with 1.5 million he's got now.
Raised to 140,000.
Tough customer. Here comes Channing under the gun. 50 plus 90.
I mean, and the beauty of the way that Channing is going about his business is he's going to be raising so many pots. I mean, everybody's going to know that, maybe the move is to come back over the top of Channing, if they've got enough chips to ask him a serious question. But if Channing does pick up a big hand, he's liable to knock a guy out.
Is this a case of that right now? Will Paulsen make a mistake getting busy with the 6-7?
Well, you couldn't fault the move. If you want to win this tournament, you're going to have to do something rather than sit there and wait for the deck to hit you in the face. It does work sometimes, but it doesn't work often enough to make it a good strategy.
And obviously... Oh, my gosh. Norton with a big... This is a big re-raise from an under-the-gun raise.
Oh, no.
1 million.
Oh, my gosh.
For anybody who doesn't understand the game too well, when a guy raises under the gun, or he's the first guy to come into a pot, I mean, a mile out of position, when he raises, he's supposed to have a big hand. But so you generally get a lot more respect for those raises. But Norton doesn't really care about that. He's quite correctly worked out that Channing doesn't have to have what he's supposed to have under the gun, and is prepared to make an issue of it.
Gosh,
I think he's making a statement here as to what his intentions are. He did tell me when I spoke to him briefly this morning that he was going to play to win. Some guys tell you they're going to play to win and then go in and play like a bunch of pussies. But I mean, when this guy said he was going to play to win, he meant it, obviously. Fair play to him. You got to love this. I mean, these guys, they're playing for the Irish Open title. I mean, which in itself is worth more than the money. And 800,000 euros, and this guy is after making a serious statement here.
460,000 more. There is no way Channing can call here.
It's like the bully in the schoolyard. I mean, everybody hangs around waiting for somebody to suit the bully out, and sooner or later somebody's got to go ahead and do it. And fair play to Norton. He's spotting Channing about 20 years in experience, thousands and thousands of hours at the table, but he's going to try and make up for it with sheer courage and heart. If an Irish player is going to win the event, I mean, you'd really like to see him win it that way, wouldn't you?
What I love most about this move is Norton did a lot to convince everybody that he was playing kind of tight. And I mean, The way he's made the move from a position where you just can't be a lunatic, and he has been one. He's got the pot. Channing taught manners by Donald Norton from his right. And as far as the seating goes here, I mean, with Channing having position on Donald, it seems like you'd have the advantage, but Donald is kind of Irish position, chance to get the bets in first.
Well, whatever you say, Jesse, I'm not going to spend all day disagreeing with you. I think Channing is quite happy with the position. You can dress it up any way you like.
Norton has limped in from the small blind here, and if he has limped to re-raise, he's got Channing out of window.
I can tell you that Neil was expecting plays like this from Norton. I mean, he did say he thinks this guy just really doesn't care. I mean, he's quite prepared to stick it out there.
Right there.
I gather this is the basis for some of his tournament success in Dublin Sporting Emporium.
Neil made it a total of 225,000. 200,000. Quick call from Norton, who's got a flush draw here.
Well, if he checks here, oh God, it might have been a better play to check raise Channing there.
And Parg, that's 2 pots in a row for Donald Norton.
Well, it's not alone 2 pots in a row for him, Jesse. It's 2 pots that he's taken from the chip leader.
It's all happened very quickly. Donald Norton, who started the day with 1 million, is now a farthing away from 2.
Well, fair play to this Donald Norton. I mean, he may have started as the only Irish guy at the final table, but he's playing like he's the whole Irish team here.
And Kieran O'Leary is down there on the floor. How about the pressure down there, Kieran? And what do you think of Donald?
Well, I'm here and reporting for duty. It's unbelievable. This kid is not going to go quietly into the night. He's making a statement. He wants this title to remain on the Irish soil. And the crowd is definitely behind him, Jesse.